You all think you're so professional, don't you? Anything could happen in the next... I know we're live. Anything could happen in the next half an hour, and you can't control me. Unless you break the fourth wall, Richard. I think it's about time the whole world saw Richard, the man behind the man. Since the Naked Chef. Hello, everyone. I've been told to do nothing or say nothing because we're building the audience. Something I find very hard. You were hoping that wasn't going to work, weren't you? Yeah, I know you lot. Richard, when shall I start talking to these beautiful people?
Well, we said live at lunch, 1 p.m. It is just about 1 p.m.
Yeah, nice. Is it 1:01? Yeah. Bless you. Well, let's start talking. Hello, gorgeous, lovely people from around the world. Mr. Oliver here, live from London. It's 1:01 p.m. GM time. And I'm going to cook a little something sweet and delicious from my brand new cookbook. 5 ingredients, Mediterranean. And I'll take any questions about the book, the inspiration, where it came from. This is my latest cookbook, 1.5 years in the making. My wife badgered me and nagged me to write this book. So normally I kind of write a book, move on, and I never go back. But Jules was like, 5 ingredients, people are busy, they want nice food, but like short shopping lists, so get amongst it, husband. So after a few years, I thought she was right. She normally is right. She's normally right, you know. So here it is. Have a little look. I'll try and show you the book. It's taken inspiration from one of my favorite parts of the world, the Mediterranean. So many countries that kind of border this sea. And you've just got all these cultures, all these flavors. So when you look through the book, hopefully what you'll see is, you know, color, optimism, excitement, meat, fish, loads of veggie dishes, breakfast, lunches, brunches, dinners, snacks. And I'm really pleased with it. Like when you see the recipes, you'll see it's really, really clean. It's really simple. So the 5 ingredients underneath, so I've changed around the design so it feels really simple, very instinctive. Really, I've really fought for white space on the design. Like, I haven't wanted to use too many words. Like, just get on with cooking. Keep it really fast, furious, tasty, simple, clean, clear. So that's what I've done, and I'm super, super pleased with it. So it's out now. And I'm really, really proud of it. So that's the book. Nice, garish orange. So I'll put that there. If we can have a little look here. So this is a beautiful dessert. This is a sour cherry and hazelnut chocolate semi-Fredo. So we've got 5 ingredients. So here, 5 ingredients here that you can get in all the supermarkets. If you have a little pan across this, we've got double cream in here. We've got some crunchy bars here. So like typical crunchy bar, and you can swap that out for any chocolate bar that you love, whether it's a dime bar, an aero, or you can go posh chocolate if you want. Like whatever is your thing, go for that. But I've used the crunchy because you get the chocolate and you also get the honeycomb, which is texture and deliciousness. But have fun with that. 4 eggs. I've got 100 grams of hazelnuts. You could swap out the nuts for different nuts. And 200 grams of sour cherries, so maraschino cherries. You can get all of this in supermarkets. So what I want to give you is a lovely little recipe. I've actually got one done already. So semi-Fredo means semi-frozen. And you get a kind of ice cream-like texture. Really delicious. So I'm going to quickly put it together, and then I'll take questions from you guys, right? So I'll get this together really, really quickly. Semi-Fredo, semi-frozen. So if you did a dinner party, for instance, or had friends round, you could make it the day before, the week before, and you can freeze it. And then like 40 minutes before you want to eat it, just pop it in the fridge. And then you can kind of finish it with fruits and bits and pieces afterwards, and it's delicious. So I'll portion some of that out in a minute. Let me just show you the recipe. So I've taken my 4 free-range eggs, and I've split them up into egg whites and yolks. and I kind of break this down. This is a principal recipe. So AKA, this part is almost, think of it like vanilla ice cream, right? You can flavor it any way you like. So I've taken the 4 egg whites, I've whisked it with a little salt until it's really, really stiff. And you can always tell that it's perfectly stiff because you can hold it over your head. So please try that at home. Then we're going to add the egg yolks. Normally you'd add sugar and egg yolks, but we're not going to do that. And I've whipped some cream here as well. Lovely double cream. So that goes in there. Now it's the air from the double cream and it's the air from the egg whites that give you that ice cream-like texture. And from this point on, you can let your fantasy run wild, right? So in this particular recipe in the book, I got a little pestle and mortar. I don't know why, but I just kind of, when I was traveling around the Med, their use of nuts, almonds, pistachios, hazelnuts, pine nuts, like they'd use them sweet or savory in so many ways. So if you want to just bring a little bit of love to a salad, toast off some nuts, bash it up, get it in there. Obviously, in this lovely dessert, this is like an ice cream, little hits of hazelnut. So what I try and do is bash some up so you get like a powder, and then crack some so you get chunks. So then you get this blend of like flavor and texture, which is really, really nice. So do that to the old hazelnuts. I've just toasted these off. Now, I'm not ignoring your comments, guys. I know they're coming in, but let me kind of get this done and dusted in about 40 seconds. And then we'll be good. So I'm going to go in with the hazelnuts. I'm going to get the sour cherries and just chop these through. These are really nice. So you could use different kind of glacé fruit. And if you look in the supermarket, you can get orange peel and you can get different things. Like you can have fun with this. But I love, 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 love cherries, particularly if those lovely maraschino ones that taste so good and they're sour. If you wanted to swap the fruit out and use jam, apricot jam, strawberry jam, like you can ripple this through and do like essentially a version of like a raspberry ripple or something like that. So again, this is a principal recipe, 5 ingredients. I guess this combo to me feels a little bit posh. Hazelnuts, cherries. And then we'll kind of go a little bit more every day with the crunchy bar, but nothing wrong with that. With the crunchy bar, what I tend to do is just get a clean tea towel and pop them. If you have them from the fridge, so they're nice and hard, take the corners up and give it a ruddy good bashing. Now, it's the sugar from the crunchy bar. It's like 5 bars, 5 or 6 bars. Swap it out for an equivalent. It's the sugar from this that's going to sweeten this beautiful dessert a little bit more. So what I'm going to do now is just pour that crunchy, look at that. That is just crunch, flavour, sweetness, chocolate. And by putting those crunchy bars in the fridge, goes nice and hard and it will just smash up like that. So that is it, right? It's a lovely principal recipe. Swap out the chocolate, go more down market, go up market, like make it posh, make it not posh. Swap out the nuts, swap out the cherries. You can put them in lovely dishes that you can serve in the middle of the table like this, or you can put them in little terrine molds. So I've got one of those done as well. What I do now is just fold this up to try and retain as much air as possible. But that, my friends, is a lovely Italian-inspired dessert. Semi-freddo of sour cherries, toasted hazelnuts, chocolate, and beautiful, crunchy, the honeycomb. Lovely. So that goes in the freezer for at least 2-3 hours until it's rock solid. You'll trap the air bubbles in there, which is fantastic. And you can keep it in the freezer for, frankly, weeks and months. Wrap it up and, delicious. When you want it, like I said earlier, when you want it, take it out of the fridge, as I have here. And, take it out of the freezer, put it in the fridge for like 40 minutes. And then it goes from frozen to semi-freddo, semi-frozen. And then if you want to kind of garnish it up, just take some of the ingredients that you put in it, sprinkle it over the top. And that, my friends, is a beautiful dessert, especially when things are a little bit hot, like now. It's a lovely hot day. So there you go. Should we do some questions, guys? Anything from the guys?
Sure, there's a few questions about the current recipe.
Yeah.
And your US audience want to know, what would double cream be in the US? Is it heavy whipping cream?
Yes, double cream. Apologies, America. Double cream or heavy whipping cream. That's correct, isn't it? We have an American in the room nodding. Yes, no trouble at all.
And Karen from Facebook wants to know, is it safe for pregnant ladies to eat because the egg isn't cooked?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, look, in the UK, I mean, first of all, when you're a pregnant lady, you do what makes you feel happy. But absolutely, eggs have been safe in the UK for many, many years. They're all sort of vaccinated against salmonella, bits and pieces like that. So, yes, in restaurants, from mayonnaises to steak tartares to tiramisus to semifreddo, we have uncooked eggs, and that's perfectly safe in the UK. We have very little problems. But most importantly, when you're a pregnant lady, you do what feels right for you and take any advice from your doctor, of course.
Samantha on Facebook asks, can we use frozen cherries or will they bleed into it?
You can use frozen cherries, and they might bleed into it, and that might be a very cool thing. I actually haven't done it. But their frozen cherries are fantastic. They've got a nice sort of tartness to it, and it's going to be frozen anyway. So I think it's a really good idea to try. And if in doubt, just kind of put a few bits in a little corner, try it, and you might have done something absolutely fantastic.
We also have a question about your book. So Liam from YouTube,
Yeah.
Are there any Mediterranean countries whose food you think are particularly underrated?
Oh my God. So I think in this book, like one of the chapters that I didn't, because like everyone always thinks I've got everything so planned. Like when you go, I travelled around the Mediterranean. The TV show starts in the UK and quite a few other countries in the next couple of weeks, right? And yeah, we set things up, but there's loads of stuff happening that we never planned, like losing all of our kit and cameras for 3 days. That was interesting. But lots of things we never know. We always go with the flow. But also when I get home from these incredible countries, having soaked up all of this inspiration, the brain starts whirring. And one of the chapters that I never expected to write in this book is the pasta chapter. And look, you know I'm the biggest fan of Italy and the Italian islands, and I've been traveling for nearly 30 years, a lot. But in this book, page 73, are largely non-Italian pastas. And a lot of people will be like, what, how, when, why, like, really? But I'm telling you, there's extraordinary pasta dishes from extraordinary Mediterranean countries that have been cooking these dishes for hundreds of years. They have some of their own unique shapes. So, for example, one of the big heroes in this book and on the TV series, we went to Tunisia. Unbelievable. Incredible water, amazing people, amazing culture. You know, French, Italian, like Arabic, Berber. It was extraordinary. And the history. But they're the second largest consumers of pasta in the world. And they have all these incredible, like, al forno-like pastas. Amazing. So if you look through this chapter in the book, it's actually one of my favorite chapters. And, you know, you've got Cypriot pasta dishes, Turkish pasta dishes. Look, it's absolutely fantastic. Seafood, veggie, really, really nice. And very straightforward, very minimal ingredients. So from Morocco all the way down to sort of Turkey, really, really cool.
Ali from Facebook says, hi, Jamie Oliver. Do you have recipes in your book that don't include fish?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we have fish. I mean, look, what I try and do in the book, generally speaking, is have a little bit of everything for everyone. So, you know, since day one, Naked Chef, like 60% of my book has been vegetarian. You know, we've had our fair share of veggie dishes, meat dishes. So I try and make sure everyone's looked after. And I love fish. I love cooking fish. But, you know, a lot of people don't get enough oily fish in their diet. So I definitely try and answer that in the book. But at the same time, veggie galore, vegan galore, and lovely meat dishes, all in one lovely little orange package.
We have another question from Magda from YouTube who says, Jamie, which is your favourite Mediterranean seasoning and why?
Seasoning? Damn. Seasoning's a really interesting question. So we always think of seasoning as like salt and pepper, but I always like to add on things like beautiful vinegars, citrus, you know, even like spices like chili, herbs. So for me, like if I'm going to put lemon in seasoning, which debatably it's not, but I don't care because like it's my life, so it's seasoning. Lemon for me is in every week shop. Like I use it in sweet and savoury things. Like I think if you're Mediterranean, there's a few things that they all share: citrus, olive oil, herbs. And I have to say, if there was no citrus, olive oil, and herbs, I would retire tomorrow and I would become a carpenter, and I'd give up cooking because, like, for me, that's what cooking's all about. Anyway, I'm strange. Sorry about that, but you got the gist of it, right?
Okay, we've got one last question now. And it is, Diana on Facebook asks, what's a crunchy bar?
Crunchy bar. It is a honeycomb chunk dipped in chocolate. We call it a crunchy bar in the UK. You might call it something else. Some people just call it honeycomb in chocolate. But you could swap it for a dime bar. Look, the great thing about sort of everyday chocolate bars is every country has its own vibe. So every country's got a version with toffee and chocolate and like honeycomb and chocolate and blah, blah, blah. So have fun with that. Look, I got some, you know, here's some ones that I like doing. I mean, I'm not doing these for ads or anything. Maltesers, that's honeycomb, classic. Dime bar, classic. Aero, particularly the mint one, which this isn't, classic. But then also, if you want to get into things like meringues, jams, lemon curd, like all of these things are really fun in a semi-Freddo. Can I show you the texture, by the way? So once it's had about 40 minutes in the fridge, it's lovely to come to the table, and then you can just get a nice big spoon and just get a lovely little chunk of this. And I'm just going to serve this up. And of course, it's on the thaw, right? So it's thawing. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's fun. Have a look into the soul of this. Come on, Mr. Cameraman, see if you can get in there. Yeah, I know, you've got to move. I'm so sorry. Go on, Soph. Yeah, delicious. So you get that lovely cross-section where if you have a little try, and don't worry, I won't double dip. I know how health and hygiene you are very sensitive to. Let's have a little try. Oh. Really delightful, fresh, creamy. The toasted hazelnuts give it this kind of like Nutella-y vibe. Apart from it's got real nuts in it, you know, or more, should we say. The crunchy sweetness, little kind of crunchy, crystally bits of the honeycomb, and then the sour cherry. Delicious. Have fun with that. There's many more sweet treats in there as well. So is that the last question? Really?
Well, I can find another question for you. Would you like another question?
Well, I don't know what you want me. Do you want? I can do other things, but.
Well, Michael on Facebook asks, "What's your favourite thing to cook?"
Favourite thing to cook? That is a cruel and hard question. It's like saying which one of my children is my favourite. You know, if you're watching, kids, you know who's my favourite. Look. It changes on the time of year and how I feel, and I'm not trying to get out of your question, but I think the beautiful thing about being able to cook, you know, just the basics of cooking, is it's an incredible antidote and friend to life. So if you want to, like, you know, if you want to chill out and relax, you can cook something that, like, it doesn't have to be a stress if you choose it not to be. So, you know, sometimes I like cooking a roast dinner, and it's just a nice thing to focus on for a couple of hours. But then again, I like making a beautiful, simple, delicious pasta. I like challenges like, you know, taking something that people get bored of or fed up with and trying to make it really delicious. So sadly, I can't answer that question because my job is to sort of get excited by everything. And sadly, because I'm a bit strange, I genuinely do get excited by most things.
We've got another question. Samuel Finley on YouTube. He says, "What's your favourite restaurant in London other than River Cafe? Can't wait to see you live in Australia in November."
Oh, bless you. Can't wait to come to Aussie. Looking forward to doing a little book tour out there and meeting you lovely people. There's some great restaurants in London. It's full of them. I mean, oh my lord. I think Rachel's Canteen is a favourite of mine in sort of like East London. Let me think. Oh my lord. There's sort of... Oh, what else do I love? I mean, the River Cafe I love, but that's because that's where I came from. I mean, there's Cornerstone, which is really, really good. Lyle's, exceptional. And there's Black Axe Mangle. There's Trullo, which I love. Padella. There's so much choice. There's so many good restaurants in London right now. And get out there and support them. And yeah, I love it.
We've had a few questions about the book. In particular, is this a part 2 of 5 ingredients?
Yeah, I suppose so. Not intentionally. So 5 ingredients was that was my little original. But it seemed to resonate with people. And I'm really grateful for that. I mean, my job really is to listen. And I do. And I spend my life reading comments on social and seeing what people are excited and stressed by and annoyed by in the world of food. And I try and answer those questions with the books and the TV shows that I make and the campaigns that I do. So 5 ingredients went bonkers. And then my wife said, do another one, please, because I've mowed through that one. I've cooked them all 3 times. So she got away. And I just thought the Mediterranean was a beautiful place to do it, to focus on. One of the most famous cuisines in the world, one of the most famous diets, really healthy use of like herbs, nuts, vegetables, legumes, fish, olive oil. So I just thought it was a good time for this book, and I hope you love it. It's available in all the bookshops now. You can, of course, get it online. I think I've signed some books for Waterstones as well. If they haven't come out, they will soon. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love. I wish you all the very best. Look out for the TV show that goes with this. And you might see me on TV this week promoting. I'm doing like the One Show and the morning chat shows and stuff. Having a little bit of a cook-up. But anyway, this was just a little taster, a little bit of love from me to you. Take care.